Okay, so I just want to show you some more of the mechanics of MetaCheckers soccer. So let's talk about passing a little bit more. The idea in passing is that you can change the possession of the ball from uh, from the checker that has the possession to a teammate if they make a roll that comes within range of of the other checker. So let's say we've rolled the rook 2. That means rook 2, this checker here is in range of the checker with possession. So we can change that. So now that one has possession, and we're going to move this one to not possession. Okay. Now, here's the other idea. You can also pass on the fly. All right. Okay, so let's say that you've rolled rook 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, one of the concepts we showed you was that any checker can move according to the roll of the dice. So they can all be in motion, and the passing can be happening while that motion is happening. So this is what I want to show you. Um, let's say you go rook 5, but this guy is blocked. He wants to go downfield, but he's got defenders in front of him. But his friend over here is not. He's got a lane here. So this guy has a rook 5, so that means that his lane of movement is, as a rook for 5, he can go this way, and he can go this way. This one can also do the same thing. And going downfield, he has more of an option. So we can actually send this guy in motion. He can go 1, 2, and here's where the pass happens. He takes the pass. This one lets go of the ball. Let's go of the possession. He takes the pass, so he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And that can also happen on bishop or anything where, or queen, or anything where there's a lot of motion like that. It would not be as useful for knight. If you wanted to pass to a teammate and you've rolled a knight, the only way you could do that is if the uh, teammate was right there at the L, at the end square of the L, and they can take the pass. Okay, so another thing we've changed here, because we wanted to make this game a little bit more dynamic. With the king, normally in chess, a king can only move one square, and that's what we do in MetaCheckers as well. But for MetaCheckers Soccer, we decided that we wanted to mix it up a little bit. So now, if you roll a king, let's say we've rolled a king 5. Okay, so let's say you've rolled a king 5. And you are on offense. It means that now this time it's only for the checker with possession, but you can make that a dribble. So what that means is that you can go 5. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So you could end up here. Now, what if you've got defenders that are along that path? Now, remember the push. The push means that you can push one checker out of your way. Um, so you can go 1, 2, push this guy, 3, 4, 5. And the other thing you can do, and let's say we've got a teammate up here. Let's say you happen to do that. You could go 1, 2, pass. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Um, let's take a look at more about the wrist die. Again, the idea is that the wrist die can only be used for a checker that has possession of the ball. It can only be used on offense. So I'm gonna bring these players in here a little bit more, and we can see a little bit about how that would work. Um, so let's put these away, and so you know anytime you're on offense, you can just opt to say I want to use this risk die. So you roll that with the numbers die as well, and you roll. And you get double knight. So we showed that in the other video. It basically means that you can take the checker with possession and move it like a knight twice. And it's just like taking a wicked hop on the board. All right, so let's take a, what else does the risk die give you? Okay, it gives you penalty. So this says penalty 5. So if we go over here, if you can read in the blue there, there's the part with the whistle. The numbers die determines how bad the penalty is. So if it was up from a 1 to 4, it's basically a version of losing possession. The other team gets a chance to kick. Um, if it's indirect kick means you can't kick at the goal. Direct kick means that you are kicking at the goal. If you get a 6, it means that you lose a player. If you get a 5, it means the opposing team is going to get a penalty kick, and they get to choose a square adjacent to the penalty mark. They roll to attempt a goal. A king roll in this case would only be 1 square, and the kick would fail because remember, you only get 1 kick on a penalty kick. A dribble is multiple kicks, so you would only get the use of that first kick. So let us say that the light checkers have um, rolled a penalty 5. That means that now we're going to basically be resetting the board. Um, a checker with dark checker with possession is going to go onto the penalty square. We're going to give him possession. We're going to take possession away from this guy. So he can pick, this dark checker with possession can pick any of these squares. Let's say he wants to go here. So let me show you. If during how to make a penalty kick. The player awarded a penalty kick selects one of the 9 squares adjacent to the penalty mark and places the checker with possession there. The opponent places the king checker on the square in front of the goal square they wish to defend. The kicker then chooses the chess and numbers die or the risk and numbers die. So the kicker has chosen this square. The goalie might choose this square. Now, in the meantime, just like in any other penalty kick, you can have you can bring in other checkers. Anyway, let's just go ahead and go for it. So after they're both placed, the kicker then chooses either the chess and numbers die or the risk and numbers die. So let's just say that he's going to choose. I think he's going to have to choose the risk die because he doesn't, at this point, he does not have a way of kicking into the goal because with a regular chess die. So he is going to have to take a risk. So we're going to bring this over here and hopefully we'll get a good roll for this guy. Well, let's see how it goes. He got Joker 2. Joker 2 means the Joker is the wild card. It means that you can pick any natural chess move. So it's basically a fail because if he's going 2 in that direction, he can pick any direction as a chess piece. But if he goes diagonal, he's going to miss, and if he goes here, he's immediately blocked by the king checker. So he's not going to be. That one would fail, and in that case, the light checker gets possession of the ball, and we immediately have a goalie kick. Let's just see what the other things would happen on the wrist die. So if you get a penalty, if you get on that, you basically it fails outcomes of the penalty kick. If you get the whistle or turnover, the ball would be caught by the goalie and be followed by a goalie kick. So you basically he loses possession. Let's see if there's anything else he could have used. Let's see. We're gonna go. This is the boot. So the boot means you are going to send the ball the distance rolled in a straight line over the heads of any player. So in a regular game, you could actually say, oh, I've got the boot and I can decide I'm going to re-roll 1 or 2 numbers dice to, get an even longer distance. But in this case, we got boot 1. Let's just see what happens if we give ourselves a different roll. Okay, so let's say he got boot 6. So he can say, I've rolled a boot 6. He could go 1, 2, and over and into the goal. So he scored on the penalty kick. So let's say that it was a situation where if the goalie has captured, who's got possession of the ball in a penalty kick, or there's been a shot on goal and they caught it. So what happens in a game is that when the goalie catches the ball, everybody scatters because basically you can't have any defenders around the goalie. So the players are going to they're going to reset. They're trying to fight for a good field position in order to get the ball. And so the goalie now can pick any space within the penalty area. And they actually, now we're going to have the goalie have the ball. So if we go in and we change the state of the goalie, that's now the goalie, actually, with the ball. And he can pick any spot in the penalty area, and he can either roll 2 numbers dice, or he can roll he can either roll 2 numbers dice, or he can roll a chess and a numbers die, trying to get the ball to a particular player. I think, and then wherever the ball lands is where it's whoever is closest to where it lands gets the ball. So I think he's going to try to get it to this guy here in the center. So I think what he wants to do is take the 2 numbers dice, and he's going to roll them. And he gets a 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He got it all the way to here. He is 3 squares away. This guy is 2 squares away. So this checker here is actually the one that's closest. So he's going to take over possession. So this one is going to have possession. And this one is going to go back to being the goalie. And so now the light checkers are going to take over on offense at this position. Okay?